For the Chargers and Raiders, it's basically a playoff play-in game, although there are other permutations that are less likely. But we're setting it up as winners in, losers out. Chargers won back in week 4, which was the last John Gruden game with the Las Vegas Raiders, that Monday night game. Remember, it was the last game before the crap hit the fan. That's what it was.
And then he had one more game because he did a Sunday game.
He had one more game after that.
Day, the crap.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But that was the game where there was a lightning delay, even though there's a roof on the stadium, and he was we're complaining about that and complaining about the locker rooms after the game. The Chargers led. They let the Raiders back into it, and then they pulled away and won the game 28-14. Justin Herbert, Derek Carr in an elimination game. Chargers have been wildly inconsistent. The Raiders have overcome a lot of adversity. This one's a tough one for me. We're going to do the Mega Picks podcast later today, and I've gone back and forth, and that makes for a great game. It's got that playoff vibe. And what's the main thing you're going to be looking for to early on to get the idea of who's really got the better of this one?
Yeah, I think the thing I look at more than anything here is the Raiders' run game, which has kind of come alive here a little bit, over the last few weeks. And we know the Chargers, they're better at run defense, but not a lot better than what they were. They're still one of the worst run defenses in football. I've had a few people on social media go, well, they played well lately. And I'm going to go, you've played some of the worst running teams in football. Relax. It's not that good. And the Houston Texans ran the ball down your throat like you guys were not even there. So that's where I look at it to go, because I know Brandon Staley is going to be good with the pass defense and have ways to take away some of the Derek Carr short passing game and all the things they do that way. But where it'll get dangerous is if the Raiders start to run the ball, then that'll open up another, 20 pages of the Raiders playbook that's going to put Brandon Staley in that Raiders defense and with some problems. I do think the Chargers are more talented, but the Raiders, they know how to execute. They play really hard on both sides of the ball. That's the one thing when I watch Raiders games, I just go, man, it's pedal to the metal. They bring it. They hit. They hustle all over the field. It's not just one guy making a tackle. It's 4 guys making a tackle. But, yeah, I'm not sure who I'm going to pick here yet either, Mike. I'm kind of with you. I'm right on the fence as far as going back and forth here.
How far do the Raiders have to advance for you to regard Rich Bisaccia as a viable candidate to be the permanent coach after his interim stint ends?
I already think he should be a viable candidate. I do. You've heard me in years past bring up his name from time to time. I know you have, right? He's always been that that small group of special teams guy that can be a head coach in the NFL. Always felt that way about him. I got to play and be there with him in Tampa Bay. But, yes, he was one of those guys where I've always told you about, where I left an organization or he left and I just went, that guy might be a head coach one day. That's the way I felt about him. And, I mean, again, I know he's not like an expert at offense and defense, but we've seen here he does know how to manage the football games. They do the right things in certain situations. They continue to play tough and be sound. And, man, who's overcome more obstacles than the Raiders, and they've continued to kind of just go forward. So, I mean, if he wins a playoff game, I got to sit there and go, what? You got to really, really, really think about this. But I think you got to think about it regardless, because I think he's done enough here to at least, be in the conversation for the head coach of the Raiders in 2022.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. And when you consider it's been one thing after another, from the John Gruden fallout to the Henry Ruggs situation, they kind of bottomed out. They have been inconsistent. Everybody's been inconsistent this year.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the biggest season ever. There's been no wire-to-wire dominant team, and it's got to be so frustrating to these teams and their fan bases to look at their records right now, look at their situations and say, man, well, there was that game here and that game there, and if it just gone, how different it would be. These are the only 2 teams that are in this setting where one wins and they're in, one loses and they're out, and we'll see what happens. But again, there are some permutations that could allow maybe both to get in, or one to already know that they're in. I think there's a way that the Chargers already clinch win or lose going into Sunday night.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.